Hello again, listeners. Welcome to the season review of the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. Today we have an old guest, or the former host of the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. He's finally back.
Yeah,
We have him on the show again. Yeah, Bruce, welcome back to the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. We miss you around.
yeah, man, it's good to be back. It's been a while. I just took a sabbatical, a few weeks to welcome the new addition to the family.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. Um, my ears were to the ground. I was still, in touch, making some moves and stuff like that. But yeah, it really feels good to be back. I'm
Yeah,
happy to be back for this season review.
yeah, it's great to have you back, man. It's really great to have you back. I've been struggling with the, hosting of this podcast. Especially that aspect of it. Starting the podcast, it has not been easy on my side. So I'm
Nah,
glad to
you get used to it, man.
I'm glad to have you back again. And you know what? Since you left, I kind of dropped. Should I say that? Is it
Oh,
like
really?
that?
You mean
Yeah,
rank?
yeah,
Oh,
my rank kind of, yeah, because yeah, of course.
oh.
I think the time you were around, I was in the top 1,000, so I ended up in the
Yeah, 500. But I think
outside.
at some
So
point you were at three something, 300 and something.
yeah,
That's your highest, right?
I was fluctuating, to be honest. So yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, I we miss you around, and kudos to Ben and Rioski and anybody who was
For
around
holding the
to,
fort down. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
that was good.
making it moving. But today, guys, we
Yeah,
want to do our final season review of the 2021-2022 FPL season. It was a successful FPL season, I would say, on the whole, generally. Some of our targets maybe were not achieved, but if you look at it as a whole, I think both of us we improved as an FPL manager over the course of this season, which I
definitely.
think, yeah, so we want to look back and see what we could have done better, how the season went, and yeah, how we can prepare for the upcoming season. So, guys, today we wanna, like I say, we wanna talk about the season, how this FPL season, how our own respective FPL season went. So, but first of all, let's look at the Kotu Classic Mini League update. Take those ones out of the way. The Kotu Classic Mini League, of course. Yeah, it was. I think I led that one for a very very long time, and
From the
but
beginning, not even a long time.
yeah,
It is so unfair because from the get go, the first game week that we had, I think you started off with like 90 something points or so.
yeah, I
So
started off with 113 points, something like that.
nobody had a chance. Nobody had a chance.
Yeah, it has
I, I
been.
hope I hope I hope next season it will be more competitive. At least we're having a back and forth. But yeah, this season was total domination. To be honest,
Yeah, it was not fun.
yeah,
Especially
total domination, man.
when it comes to the challenging. I think other than the top maybe top second, third, fourth, fifth, and even if you look at the table, I think 4-7 finished.
There's no
There's no
movement.
movement in the
Yeah,
final
it's the
game. In the
same.
final game,
hmm
so it was a bit boring. It was too one sided, I would say.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you had a pretty like exceptional start to the season. Like the first three game weeks were really massive for you, and that's how you just took off and left everybody behind before we even realized we were in the race. You were already halfway through the race.
yeah, yeah.
Well, but yeah.
To be honest, that was one of my goals going into the season. I think if you
Mhm.
can remember well, my goal was
Yeah, you said it, but yeah,
to have
definitely.
the best start possible. I did not really care about my team, how it looks, or like the structure of my team. I just wanted to have a very strong start in terms of players. So I tried to gather the best
I
players that were available.
and I think that is a lesson that I'm going to use to take forward to next season because it works. One thing we realize is that in FPL, it's difficult to gain grounds when everybody is settled and like there's a template. But in the
Yeah,
first few game weeks, you understand everybody's trying to plan long term, and you're planning for the first three games.
yeah,
You catapult yourself into those like high ranks, and then you stay there, and then you just try to maintain your rank, to manage it up and down. Like you kind of drop, but not drop to like a whole level to all the 20,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 K. You were always there, close by.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's a good strategy to have.
It's a
definitely.
good, yeah, I think it's a good one to have. But also, you
Yeah.
have to tame your expectations at the end of the season. Because, like, for
Mhm.
example, I was in the top 300 going into the final 3 game weeks, but I had to,
Yeah.
yeah, eventually I was gonna drop. So the only week, like they say, the only way was down. I was not gonna go up from there. It was only going down. So in the end, I ended the season well with 1,500
Uh-huh.
ish, but it meant I had 3 red arrows going into the final game week. So that
Mm.
alone was not an excitement. Like, I did not end the season with excitement. Rather, but still, the position I ended in was a very solid position. So you see, like, I had a good start, but then I knew I was gonna go down at the eventually.
Okay,
Something
I
like
see.
something like that. Yeah, but yeah, let's
Okay,
look
so
at look at
yeah,
the
the top 10.
table. Yeah, the top 10. We
Yeah,
have Alfred Bulel. He was at 10th. And yourself, you made the top 10
for the first
again.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And at 7 we have Amara. So Amara kind of thumped you in the final game week. So I think that
Yeah,
was the only
112.
change in
Yeah.
the top 10. Suleiman
Mhm.
Gay Yabi also, he had a very strong comeback. He did not have the best of starts this season, but
Yeah.
he came back very well. Amadou Sadio Bari, he was at 6th. Andrew Hennin, last season's champion, he dropped at 5th this season. Pratek Arora, he was like second
Number
for most
two.
of the
Yeah,
time.
second.
Yeah, but he
Hmm.
dropped to 4th. Ahmed Tijan Suleimani at third. Jibril Fall, he is at second. I think in game week 36 he triple captain KDB, and that was huge, right? That
Oh,
was
that was
the one
the,
that
yeah,
shoot
took him
him,
all the way up
and
there.
and,
Hmm.
and then kind of, yes, solidify his position in second place. And yeah,
Hmm.
I have been I'm at number one. It has been difficult for me to actually talk about the table because you have not been around, so I have to do this all the time. So but yeah, I'm very glad, to be honest, to win the Kotu Classic Mini League. Because if you
Mhm.
know, since 2000,
Oh yeah, this is the first time
2014,
you're winning it, right?
yeah, definitely, this is the
Um,
first time I can remember.
oh, okay.
Two
Oh
seasons ago,
yeah.
yeah, two seasons,
Yeah,
two,
I mean, in my mind, yeah, in my mind, I think you already won it. So this is the first time you're actually winning it because 2 seasons
yeah,
ago, when
the COVID hit, right?
the pandemic just happened, you were
Yeah,
leading, but then at the end, America won it, right?
yeah,
Just in the dying
exactly. And
few.
and
Yeah,
and Ben
okay.
and Ben came here, Kiki,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay,
he
okay.
said I
Congrats,
got to
man.
win.
Then
So he said
congratulations. Yeah, you deserve it. Yeah, this is a well resounding victory. Like a shutout from game week 1 to game week 38. Nobody ever came close. So I think this is
Yeah,
the most memorable let's say
yeah,
Kotu Classic mini league winner we have had in like probably forever. Because it's never been like this. You know,
definitely,
not even close.
definitely,
Yeah. So
definitely.
congrats, man. You really deserve it. You really put in the work and it showed. It really
Yeah,
showed.
thanks, man. And to top it up, I also top the Gambia, which also make it even very
Oh yeah,
memorable.
yeah.
And
You know what's funny? Like
uh,
I looked at this top 10 and I looked at the Gambia's top 10. It's almost similar, right?
it's almost similar. Yeah,
Is it because we have most of the people playing in the Gambia are part of the Koto Classic podcast? I mean podcast mini league, or is it that our league is very competitive? I don't know which one is it. Because when I look at it, it's almost like for like. It's like
yeah. It's almost
top
very
man, I
similar.
guess. Yeah, yeah.
It's almost very similar.
Mhm.
I think you are in number 10 in the Gambia.
I'm 10th. Yeah, I'm number
Yeah,
10.
and,
Number
and
10
number nine,
in
number
the.
nine, number nine here. So it's almost similar. Yeah. So yeah, I think we have some very good managers in the Kodu Classic. Some veteran managers who have been playing the game very well. So
Okay.
I also check. What was it? What was it? Like FPL research. They do this rating of FPL managers from the time they started playing FPL
Mhm.
to current situation. And I realized 5 of the managers in the top 10 for that, they are also in the Kodu Classic Mini League. That is myself. I'm
Oh
there.
wow. Oh, for the
Uh,
Gambia, right?
yeah, for the Gambia, yeah, top 10 managers in terms of overall ranking in by the
Oh.
like FPL research. I am number one, I think, and Amara is number 2 or number 3. And then you have, I think, Ahmed Tijan Suleiman. He's also there. Yabi Suleiman Gay is there. Yeah, about 5 of us in the Kodu Classic Mini League are in the top 10 for in that. Yeah.
Wow.
So we have top managers in there. It is
Keep it up,
competitive.
guys. Yeah.
It is
Hmm.
competitive, but yeah, it's not just, maybe we don't discuss it a lot in the group, but they are very competitive managers there. They just do their thing in the.
Yeah.
I am the one who make most of the noise. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's move to the Kotu Classic Cup. We had a grand finale in the cup. In the quarterfinals, we had Suleiman Gay was in the quarterfinals. You see, he had a very strong end to the season. And then we have Kelvin, and he played Kelvin, and yeah, he lost to Kelvin. And then Xavier Simons won against Yaya Juve in the quarterfinals, and the Kotu Classic, that is Allah, he won against Luke. And the winner who ended up winning it, which was Babukar Jom, he won in the quarterfinals against Dembo Sly. And then in the semifinals, you had more like no what is it? Kodu Classic. He lost against Babukar Jom, and then you have the semifinals. The other one was Bigfoot, that is Xavier Simons and Kelvin, and Xavier won. So in the final was down to Xavier Simon and Babukar Jom, and Babukar Jom came out the winner. So he's the champion for the Kotu Classic Cup. Of course, this is the first season for cups in the in FPL. Like there used to be cups, General Cup, but like
Yeah.
now every mini league can have their own cup. So I think it's a big win too. I wanted to do the treble, you know. I got the head-to-head match.
That would be too much, man. That would be shameful for us in the mini league. They're just sitting back and let you win everything. No, come on, man. You can't allow that.
Yeah, congratulations, Babu
You know,
Kajum.
congratulations, Babu Karjam, for winning the cup. You know what's funny?
Uh-huh.
I have never seen myself in this cup. I know I'm part of the I don't even realize when I went out of the cup. I never even checked because it was. If you look at the app, it's now a bit complicated. You have two sliders, you have the cup and you have the the league and stuff like that. So it's difficult to maneuver around. So when I just look at my rank in the league and what I need to look at, I never even venture towards the cup side or anything. So I never had an idea what's going on in the cup. This is the first time I'm seeing this. So yeah, but congrats, Babakar Jam. It's been yeah. That was a good one.
All the way. He's the first winner of the Kotu Classic Mini League Cup. So
yeah, first winner. Yeah,
yeah,
just like Roma are the first winners of the Conference Cup. So we will always remember him. Yeah.
Exactly. So now we have that out of the way, the Kotu Classic Mini League.
Okay.
So congratulations to all the winners. And now let's go to our season review.
Yeah, the main core of this pod.
Yeah,
this episode today
of this podcast. So we will start
looking
with
back. Being introspective.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna start with the season assessment, and we review our own personal targets that we set for ourselves going into the season, and what did we achieve in that, and what did we learn from that. So you can start with your own personal targets over the course of the season. What were your targets at the start of the season?
I don't think I had a lot of targets. It was just mainly like my strategy, how to play the game better, improvement from last season. I wanted to be more of a direct manager and just not to avoid not to be a rash manager, because last season I was just bringing in transfers sake, and this season the most consistent thing I've done is to plan my transfers ahead. I don't bring in transfers just for a game week or two, apart from the free hit. I bring in transfers if I see them staying in my team. Apart from Weghorst, he's the worst transfer for the season. But mostly I bring in transfers and to make sure that they stay in my team and they're going to add value to my team. I think I wasn't really, let's say, how do you call it again? Impulsive this season. That's one. Number two, which is the main target for this season, was top 100K. Last season, I finished 294K, and I wanted to finish top 100K. It was a big ask, but I just came very short because I came all the way to 112,000, which is the closest I've come this season, and then I just dropped back down. So not much in terms of targets per se. My main target was just 100K, but then how I played the game. I wanted to be more of a strategic manager to plan ahead, 2, 3, 4 game weeks down the line in terms of my transfers. But main thing about this season was that there were a lot of double game weeks. So you had to be on your toes all the time, getting all the schedules in and stuff like that. And I was happy that I handled that pretty well, even though I took some hits, I think 60. I can't remember how much I took last season. 60.
You took 60 hits? I think you took more hits than me this season. Maybe just more.
Really? That's a record. Oh, wow. What? So I took this is 60, which is I think I've seen some people like take way more than me, and still manage to finish really high up there. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
think it
don't
was
really
good.
think. Yeah, I don't really think hits is like there is a
It
relationship between hits
affects,
and
yeah, I
where you
don't
finish
think
in the
it
season.
does. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So not much in terms of targets, but my main target was just to finish for the year, and I failed, but I did well enough that I was happy with my finishing for this season.
yeah.
Um, okay, you talk about your targets, and then I'll talk about my recap. It's a long season recap, and I've been very introspective with how I played the game this season. So yeah, what are your targets this season?
Yeah, for me, my target is not usually about the rank. I think you know that very well. It's always
Mhm.
about the points. I have a target of points. The points kind of tell me where that will fall me in, like in terms of FPL. So, for example, at the start of this season, the target was 65 points average, because based on previous records, 65 points would have been enough to make me finish in the top 5,000, something like that. So, actually, the way I set the target is about what can I get? What is the points tally that I feel realistic for me to get? So, if it is 70, for example, then I will look at my chart and see where can 70 fall. If 70 falls in the top 1,000, then at the end of the day, my target is top 1,000, something like that. That is how I set my targets. So 65 points was a points tally that I feel was something achievable for me. So that is what I set myself, and that happened to fall at 5,000. And like I try to break it down. I have to get some amount of points of that 65 points. Maybe I targeted 75 points from my captaincy, because last season I averaged 15 points, so I added about 2 points on top of that. 50 points like from my non-captains. That is what I targeted for the 10 other players that were in my team. So because that has been something I have been achieving over the past few seasons. So 50 plus 17, that was 67 points. And I usually take some hits. So on average, I used to take about 40 hits a season at least. So if you look at that, it's about less than 2 points per hit. So if you calculate that, it ends out to be about 65 points. That is how I set it. That is how I set my FPL target at the start of the season. And that is how I decided that 5,000 was something achievable for me, even though I have never finished in the top 10,000. So very ambitious person. Just say that. And yeah, thank God I achieved all the targets, because I averaged more than like 5 points more than what I targeted. I averaged 70.774 points on my FPL team. I averaged 52 points for my non-captains, where I targeted 50. I averaged 20.3 points, 20.03 points for my captain, where I targeted to average 17 points. And the hits too, I did not exceed two hits like average per game week. So on that regard, it was good. But then I have to remember the season was very unprecedented. Was a season of anomaly, where the points were coming because of a lot of double game
The
weeks.
double game weeks,
I
yeah.
remember some other podcasts talking about how many number of double game weeks we have this season. It was really unprecedented. And also, not just that, some players were scoring some amazing number of points. Salah scoring hat trick, all like when you triple captain him, everybody knew, Son scored a hat trick in the first few. I think in the first 3 or 4 game weeks, every players were scoring hat trick for fun. Salah scoring a hat trick at Old Trafford. So there are a lot of anomalies happen, even in terms of points. So that's why the points tally was very high this season. That's why I'm advising FPL managers to tame their expectation going forward next season.
Next week, because it's gonna
Next season,
be
it's gonna
a
be low.
standard regular season without like maybe a few doubles, and you expect to have the same tally of points or average points next season, which is not going to happen. Yeah,
exactly. And then you get angry, or you get like
yeah,
disappointed
yeah.
with the game at this
Mhm.
early stage of it. So you have to expect that next season the points gonna drop drastically. So yeah, in terms of targets, I'm very very happy with the targets I set, and with the targets I achieved. The 70.74 points is like how unprecedented this season is. Is the 70.74 points is
That's a
higher
lot.
than
Yeah,
any other season except this season. There is no FPL manager before this season who have more than 70.5 points. So it is unprecedented. So I am 1,500. So all the managers before, like under me, like who finished ahead of me, they beat all the other records that have been happening in FPL forever. So it just
wow.
tells you this season has been very unprecedented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go forward, let's just recap game 38. So tell us what happened in 38. How did you finish the season? With a whimper, or were you just happy to be part of?
Yeah, to be honest, I was not really engaged in FPL in the final game week. To be honest,
Oh, really?
100%. I did not even
Is
look
it
at my
because you
team.
didn't have any chip left, or you didn't feel like you had
Not,
anything
not,
to
not at
play
all. I
for?
was focused. I was more focused on the Liverpool game. I was more in that mood.
Oh, okay. I
I
see.
was
I
more
see.
focused
I
in the
see.
final game week.
Yeah.
I did not know what was happening until the really when the game ended. But of course, I was watching all the other games, so I can see my players
Mhm.
scoring. So I can kind of estimate that this is gonna be. So actually, I was expecting to go back into the top 1,000 because Tottenham, I had Son, Kulusevski, and
Mhm.
Harry Kane, and they were mental.
Oh, and they were, yeah,
All of
yeah.
them got a double digit return. I say, okay, this is enough. This should take me into the top 1,000 again. But it wasn't to
I think
be.
what happened, yeah, I think what happened was that a lot of people kept their last chip and played it in the last game of the season. Some people like me, funnily enough, it didn't work out for me in my favor because my bench boost was rubbish. Again, it just happens all the time. I've never had a good bench boost chip. I mean, game where I said, okay, you know what, a bench boost came through for me and they did well. Nothing. I don't know. So yeah. So take us through what happened in game 38. What did you play? What was your team like?
Yeah,
How many points did you have?
yeah, okay. Yeah, of course. Like I say, I had the triple sports players, and they were the best performers in my team. I had
Yeah.
Saka and Ketia of Arsenal. They also returned a goal and
You
an
had all
assist.
the players, man. Ketia also went mental and scored
He
two
just
goals,
scored
right?
one goal in the
Oh, one.
5-0 route for Arsenal. They won five. He scored
Oh, just
one. He
one.
did not get any bonus points. So it
Oh,
was
is this guy that is the right back that scored the two goals?
yeah,
He went.
Cedric got
Cedric,
Cedric got the
yeah.
goal and the assist. So yeah, so I only got 6 points from Nketiah, and he was my after the sports players, he was my highest scoring player. Saka got the assist. That's it. He should have taken the penalty. Martinelli took the penalty. Apart from that, all the other players in my team blanked. Ramsdale 2 points, Alexander Arnold 2 points,
What?
Cancelo 1 point, Fofana 2 points, Luis Diaz. I brought in Luis Diaz for the final game week in place of who was it again? I cannot even remember. So yeah, he came in the final game week, and yeah, and Wakehouse, I started him too, and he gave me 1 point. So it was not like apart from the sports players, I did not get anything at all. So the sports players kind of they how can I say it? Yeah, they kind of give me that notion that I was doing well when I was really not.
Oh yeah. When you really look at the rest of your team. So what was your points average? Your points tally for the
Yeah, I
game?
ended up with the game week with 71 points. I took a hit, of course, because I brought in Kane and Luis Diaz. But Kane did pay off with that transfer. And yeah, 71 points. I ended the game week like total with 2,688 points and an overall rank of 1543, as you can see on the screen. How was yours? How was your final game week? How did you do?
Yeah, I had the last chip, the bench boost, like a get out of jail free card. I was like, okay, this is my chance to bulldoze my way into the top 100K, but it wasn't to be. I think I transferred in. I took a minus 8 anyways. Brought in some players. I think I brought in Diaz, and Madison was already in my team, so Diaz and Mount and Tony, who was my differential pick. I always wanted to have him. That's the thing. Some of these things you have to cut them out of your game because I wanted to have him back in my team. I took a minus 8 just to bring him in, and he got a 1 point. Yeah. So it wasn't, So I had 15 players, and my bench had a total of 8 points, just 8 points. Matip had 7, and somebody else had 1. The rest didn't play. Richarlison didn't play. This is so annoying. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, funny for me, I had a few points on my bench. I had Coutinho and Dinia. They played Man City, but I was not gonna play them.
Next season, the bench boost is going to be the first chip that I get rid of, because what happened was the whole season. You understand? Or since when I played my second wild card, I've been trying to adjust my team, try to spread the funds around just to have, and then you have like 8 points. It doesn't make any sense. So you could have focused on, you could have focused all your energy on your 11 players, and you have the bench for us in it. I was so angry. I was like, look at this. It doesn't make any nonsense, man. You know,
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
can
make any
feel it.
sense.
No, I feel it. I feel
Next
it.
season, to be honest, next season I don't want anybody telling me, "Oh, the bench boost." No, I'm just gonna play the bench boost any
But
game I feel like playing.
it's about
Get it
time.
out of the way.
I think I played mine very, very well. I think because I played in 27 or 28 or 29, yeah. So I played the bench boost and then trying to pave the way for the final few game weeks where I don't have to think about what you were thinking about. I
I'm
tried to
telling
pick up the
you,
team. Yeah.
it's frustrating, man.
Yeah,
You know,
but it did not help me too because I ended up like keeping the bench boost team for the end of the season. I think my
uh,
bench will have done a better bench boost than your your bench in the
exactly.
final game week.
I just feel like it's one of those chips that is it's underwhelming, but it gives you the
Overrated.
impression that you're going to have like a lot of points because it's a chip.
It's
But you
overrated,
never
right?
know what you're going to have. Like you might bring in the best players and then you have like 7 points or 8 points. You know, it doesn't make any sense. So I think next season is just target the other two chips and just
So
whatever I feel like playing it, I play it. If I
so
get
bench so
5 points on it, it's
bench
okay.
boost is overrated.
It's overrated, 100% overrated. So I got
Uh,
79 points minus
uh-huh.
8, so 71. So for the
So
you know,
actually, you get 8 points and then you took -8. That is the bench boost. So it's ended up.
nothing. Yeah, zero. Maybe my team looks nice, but there's no there's no
there,
impact on it
there's
at
no
all.
impact from the bench boost. Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
I
That's
if I if I if I knew this, then you think I would bother playing it? I would have played it any other game and I just forget about it. I would have had more because I wanted to bring in some of these players like Kane, these big players in the last few game weeks, to boost my 11, but I couldn't because I had money tied up or funds tied up in my bench. I don't want to get bench for this because I was going to play my bench boost in the last game week of the season, anyways.
yeah,
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 so
yeah.
that's that for
Yeah,
recap.
for me, it's about the like triple captain. That one is the overrated one because
That's the one. I don't think it's overrated. That's that. If
for me,
you no
it's
no
the
no.
overrated one this season. For me, it's the
Oh, for you, yeah, for you, yeah.
it
For you,
completely
I'm
messed
sorry, man.
it
Like,
completely messed my season. It completely
yeah,
messed my
I
season.
think it also, it's demoralizing to play your bench boost and get your triple captain and get a few points. How much you get? 6 points
Three
from
points
Salah?
from Salah. Three. Three
Oh,
times
three.
3 points, 9 points.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I got 9 points
Oh,
from him.
9 points. Okay.
So
That's that
that's the
sucks,
total.
man.
Three, three, three.
And I remember a few seasons ago, you also did the same thing. You had like
Yeah,
a very
it's
bad triple captain. So your
yeah,
that's your cross. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So let's go into the assessment. Take us through your season assessment. Let's see. I have a few notes here, so I think I'll just share this one and let's see. I guess just a bit of stats to give context to you know.
yeah. For me personally, yeah, my season, if I look at it uh from the start and up to the end, I'm pretty content with it. But of course, there are some points I'm disappointed with, and there are some points I am really happy with. So, of course, I was very lucky this season. I will have to say that the luck on my side from day one, getting the team right from day one. Of course, you have to put in some work to get there, but to get it right at the first time of asking is very important in this game. So I had a lot
Mm.
of luck, and along the way, the luck was really coming to me until, of course, until the triple captain came. But yeah,
No, but
and
like I keep saying, the triple captain, you made a call because you were supposed to triple captain Salah like the rest of us,
yeah,
but you saw an opening and then you played your wild card, and you were looking towards those few games where we had a lot of doubles.
yeah.
But it worked out for you. But the only thing is it sucks that you play your triple captain and you had 9 points. That's the only that's the
That
only thing about it.
that's the sucking part, yeah. But and it's, the difficult part is I was in a Twitter space just before deadline that day. I was in the Twitter space. There was this guy who finished in the top 30 in the world. So then I think they had already watched my video with Joe. So that is the captaincy ticker metrics because I talked
Yeah.
about my captaincy. It does not necessarily have to be Salah or something like that. So they they kind of label me like like an expert in captaincy nowadays. I don't feel that way, of course, because I just feel I'm still average when it comes to captaincy. I just try to find a sustainable way to get my captaincy point. I'm never gonna be the best captain points in FPL, never. But I will not be the worst. So I will be in the middle somewhere and something respectable points. So yeah. But anyways, to cut the story short, this guy they asked me to give an opinion about this captaincy, Salah and KDB. They had KDB and Salah. So I said if I had KDB, I will captain KDB 100%. I will give him the triple captain. He had the triple captain at that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the only option I had was either to sell Salah and Son for KDB. And this actually it was not the only option, but that was the only option I saw at that point in time. So I never find a way to get KDB. And even though I thought he was the best triple captain option, he was the best captain option because the Liverpool fixtures were not good. It was Tottenham, Aston Villa away. So we all know the Tottenham game was gonna be difficult. But yeah, because I had Salah, I'm just dwelling on that. But yeah, anyways,
I think the course of past few seasons kind of hit you a bit because the last few game weeks, maybe you say you were a bit relaxed, and it happened also like past two. It maybe not as serious as the last past 2 seasons, but maybe it happened that you could make a move, but you were not aggressive enough.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I felt like maybe it happens there all at the same time. Yeah,
at the same time,
you make the move,
right?
you saw the move, but you feel like the season's already over, so no need to be aggressive. But if you had made that move, you never know. It could have been like Jamie. What's the name of the guy? The guy that won the
Jamie
from nowhere.
Jamie. Congratulations to him, by the way. Yeah,
congrats to Jamie. I think Pigot. Sorry if I messed up the name. But
exactly,
just out of nowhere, just had those monster 3 game mix haul and then ended up winning it.
Yeah, and actually heading into that game week 36 when he captained KDB, I decided to triple captain Salah. That was the game week I used my triple captain. Going ahead of that game week, he was behind me like a few points, like 3 or 4 points behind me. But then he ended up like 150 plus points ahead of me in the overall ranking. So at least now I can feel like I had a chance. So, and this is all you want.
Oh yeah, because you don't have an excuse because the guy that won it.
Yeah. I had a chance.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so at least to feel in that particular stage of the season that there was a chance for you. I think that's it. That is something I am very, very proud of.
Yeah, I think you should put a reminder for next season when it comes to the last 5 or 10 games to be aggressive, even if you feel like you're comfortable and you're doing well, just to be more aggressive because that's when I think it happens. Most managers are like, okay, well, I'm here now. There's not much I can do to improve my rank. So let me just, coast and finish the season, But there's opportunities to do well, like we saw with Jamie. So
yeah, definitely, I agree with it. Actually, this one I will leave it on you. So just make sure that I remain myself.
You should.
It is what it is, and
it's just happened. People we're looking forward to the ending of the season because we're already tired with FPL. It's like, let's just end and let's just go.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I know. It is not easy to be focused 100% like for how many months,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I listened to this guy. What's his name? Jamie. The Jamie you're talking about. He did a podcast with above average FPL. So I was so interested really because usually these are the people I want to listen to. Those who win, they say what they did, and you can learn a thing from them, of course.
Yeah.
So I decided to listen to his podcast with them, and what he said was what he did in the final few game weeks. He said, "I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna because I'm not
like of
what
course.
is there to lose now?
What is there to lose? Exactly. You can't. There's nothing to lose. Yeah.
And then look at him now. He is now the number one. So yeah, I have learned a lesson from him. That lesson, I think I would take it from him. That if you are in a good position going into the final few game weeks, you just have to make some like big calls and then go for it, But yeah, that's it. And for my season personally, I would say the start was exceptional. I think you mentioned that. I was obsessed. Like I was really obsessed to get this start. I think when we started the season, you were more obsessed with the template. I want to follow them, and then
I was in the template.
You were only thinking about the template. Whatever the template do, I'm gonna go with it. For me,
because it happened to me last season that I had a bad start. This is the previous season, the season before. I had a bad start and I had to catch up. So my plan going into this season was that I was going to have a good, like average, team. And then from there, have my own kind of moderately template team. Yeah. So that was what happened. Anyways.
Yeah. For me, it was all about, I was seeing 3 fixtures. So these 3 fixtures, who are the best players there? And then I tried to pick those players. And it turns out they did well. And game week 3 or game week 4, I was in the top 1,000. And then from there, it was really nice. And the other thing is consistency, right? Consistency
Yeah.
is underrated in FPL. Everybody wanna get these big hauls, like get the 100 points, get the 200 points. I did not have a lot of. I did have some 100 points, but compared to other managers, maybe even if you check your team and compare your team to me, maybe you have more double-digit returns than myself. But the consistency was key. I have not, like, the target I set for myself was 65, but I have not gone below 65 average over the course of the season. My lowest point I got was 65.9. So it means that the
Wow.
consistency was always there. I never do something spectacular, but the consistency was just keep going. Sometimes I will see my mini league, because I was in other very important mini leagues where people will just jump with one huge rank, with one huge score, but then you will see me, I'm around there, and then I just keep going with my pace. So there is this saying from former champion of FPL. I think you know him, Simon Match. He won it in 2013, I think. So he said consistency is the best differential, and I cannot disagree with him more. The
I think
consistency
so.
that my team showed really helped me into putting me in a position where I was like going into the final few game weeks. There was something I could achieve. So consistency was key. And the fourth one is the captaincy picks. I think that one we all know how it goes this season. I think we all did very well with it. You also did.
I think so. We did, yeah.
Yeah, and it was all based down to being simple, right? Picking the obvious one, the best captain, the best player option in your team. Just pick that player. That is what we did for most part of the season. Of course, there were times where we tried to be too creative and then going to players
that
like
was yeah. Man, I will talk about that honestly. But in hindsight, you can say that was the best, like that was the best option at the time. We didn't gamble with it because that game week there were no other options. There was no obvious option. If there was an obvious option, we would have just gone with that and captained that. But there are some game weeks this season where it was up in the air. You didn't know who the best captaincy option was. It was just a choice. So those were the fun ones. It could go your way or it could go against you. Yeah. Unfortunately, for those of us that own Dennis and captain him, we ended up with how many points? Is it -2 or -1? Yeah. We are owing points instead. So,
yeah, but it was not only Dennis. So, we did it many times. Workhouse, Chris Wood, not just.
Did I ever captain Workhouse?
You never captained Workhouse.
I don't think so.
The double game week. When you had the double game week, maybe you did not do it, but many FPL managers,
captain him,
and myself included. I did some creative stuff sometimes, but on the whole,
but it was minimal. Yeah, it was minimal compared to previous. Yeah, to be honest, previous season, and it was one of those game weeks where you had the chance to explore, but it was not like there was a set manager. I mean, set captaincy, and you went against that. Yeah, so. I think we did well. We did exceptionally well when it comes to.
But I think we can improve. We can improve on it too. We can improve. Like we can cut out those, low scoring players, low point players. We can take them out of our thinking, and that will help a lot. So,
yeah, go on. You are going to talk about.
Yeah. The final couple of points that I would say is the squad management, which was very key in my game, and also the use of the chips, the wildcards, especially the wildcards. I'm very happy the way I used my wildcards.
Yeah, the way you used it was perfect. Yeah, it was very perfect. That was your sacrifice for the triple captain. You could have played the triple captain in that game week, but you saw an opportunity, and then you used the wildcard to cover all those 3 or 4 game weeks, and you did well, man. Honestly, that was very ingenious at the time. When you explained it to me, I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. It was a lot of planning, but it makes a lot of sense at the time.
Yeah. So go ahead. Let me hear you.
My idea yesterday, I took the time to say, okay, let me assess my season. I went to the website. I think I need to give them props. What's the name of the website again? Premier Fantasy Tools.
Okay, tools.
You remember Premier Fantasy Tools that we had? Yeah. To just break down your season and give you all the numbers and see, let me not be too hard on myself. I probably did well. I was expecting more, but I did okay.
Yeah.
So I finished with an average of 65, like you said. So I would have won FPL in any other season, 65.18, which is a major improvement from last season of 61. So apparently I rank in the top 2% of FPL managers this season.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's encouraging, right?
Yeah, very encouraging.
Yeah. So I mean, if I was thinking of quitting FPL, next season, when I look at it, I'm like, what, I did well. Let me continue playing. Who knew? Yeah. So last season I finished 294. It was not bad, considering the fact that the previous season is when I actually started playing it, FPL. That was
In a very
2020.
serious manner, right?
Very serious manner, yeah. I finished 4 something, and then this last season I finished 294. This season is 142. So you can see the progress, right?
Yeah,
So
surely
it
next
makes
season is
sense.
gonna be in the top 100 for
Next
sure.
season, man, I'm gonna be in that top 50. I'm making it more difficult.
Yeah, let's
50K.
go. Let's go.
Yeah, top 50K. 100K didn't happen next year. Maybe 50K will happen next year.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not?
Yeah. So let's say let's split this. We have the good and the bad. So let me talk about the good first. The captaincy. Captaincy points, like you said, you had 17, right?
I had 20.
On 20.
17 was my target. I ended up 20.
Oh, your captaincy average?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot, man. Nah, that was like one of the highest captaincy averages ever.
I think somebody got 23, to be honest. I think the highest 23. Yeah, 23 points.
Somebody got 23. Like, what kind of game are they playing that they had the captaincy? Like,
yeah, but if I triple captain KDB, then I would have been something else, right? Imagine if I got my triple captaincy right, it would have been crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got 16.47, and that's an improvement from last season of 14. That's not bad. But
16 is
20.
massive. 16 is massive. I'm telling you, 16 is massive. If you remember when Joshua Bull won the FPL, remember Joshua Bull?
That was last season. Yeah.
Just 2 seasons ago. His average was 13 point something. 13. 1-3. You are averaging 16. So, this is why I like to compare myself with all these managers.
Yeah, then you
you can see what you have done, and then you can try to improve on those little gains. Then it helps.
Yeah, my chip strategy has improved significantly. I think that's one of the things that I did well this season with, because usually, like, I plan my game, my season around the chips only. But this season, like, it's transfers. I'm looking at 3 or 4, 5 game weeks ahead. Yeah. So you can see my triple captain, even though it was game 26, which was obvious. Everybody had triple captain Salah, or anybody that had the triple captain paid him 136, which is the highest for my season. I've never had this high score before, so this is the highest in FPL for me. Free hit at this game week 36, 124. The bench boost is the one which is very disappointing with 71. But if you look at it, the average, I don't know, was it the average for 38 was not that high, right? I can't really remember. To see, maybe
it was 50 points.
50 points. So it's okay, But that's something I realized. Before in previous season, I was going according to, okay, if I have more than the average for that game week, I'm fine. But I don't think this was enough this season. It wasn't enough at all. Even if you have 20 or 40, like more than the average, it depends on what everybody else is getting.
Yeah,
if you were getting
around your rank,
around your rank, or else you're not going anywhere. Sometimes when I go to live FPL and I say, okay, the top 10K, they have this average. Okay, the average is this. My average is way high, but my rank is not going up. So what's happening, man? So, sometimes it's disappointing, but it just goes to show that everybody, like most of the managers this season or in last season and this season, there's so much content out there that a lot of people are making the right calls. They are planning better now. They're making really good transfers, and they're taking the game seriously. So it just means that we need to just raise our game, honestly. Like I said, the transfer judgment call has improved for me. I'm less impulsive. I think maybe I have you to thank for that, because mostly I just go, okay, I want to get this person in, and then next thing I have them in my team and I don't know what to do with them, and they stay with my team for the longest time because I don't have the transfers to take them out again. But I can just point out one or two, 3 mistakes, like the Dennis mistake and the Workhorse mistake. Just 1 or 2 things I can cut out from my game. Yeah. But obviously, I've made improvements when it comes to the strategy and planning of my game long term. Yeah. So what are your goods for this season? You can say, just take us to your
no, I think the goods I've highlighted, that is the captaincy
and the bad.
Yeah, I will come to the bad. That is the most one.
Okay, let me start with my bad. Okay, Workhorse. Workhorse is the bad of it. That's just epitomizes how how bad I like the move that I make. Honestly, when I think back at it, like, he had a double game week, or he had a few double game weeks, and when he came in, he looked like he played the part that was a very good footballer. But we failed to realize that it was Burnley. The realize what happened is still a small team, and you're expecting a lot from a small team striker. So the funny thing is I brought him in and he stayed longer than he should have stayed, all the way to the end. Since I brought him in, I don't know, game week, whatever, the 20s. I can't remember what game week was. I didn't know. I can't take him out because there was always some fire to put out in my team, And next thing you know, I want to play my bench boost and he's still there. I was like, wow, I still have this guy. This is my team. How did they get here? So yeah.
That's what. Another one.
That's one. Dennis the Menace, disaster class captaincy in game week 24. Man. The funny thing is, I captained him with this double, and I was watching the game. Usually, I'm in a different time zone now, and it's difficult to watch games. But this game was just really nice. The first game of the week, you captain Dennis. Even though I have this, what do you call it again? Position not to captain the player that's playing in the first game.
But he had a double, so it's understandable. He had double, right?
Yeah, but I was,
play another one.
Thank you. Well, when I was watching this game, and the way they were playing the game, I was like, nah. I guess it was against Norwich. I remember they were playing against Norwich, and obviously, Watford was doing, they were doing well up to that point. And then you can just tell this game was not going according to plan because the things were happening. They were being aggressive. Next thing you know, Dennis had a yellow card. Okay, I say fine. Okay, that's fine. Maybe it's a mistake. The way he was playing, I was just praying. I was just my fingers crossed that he doesn't have a second yellow. Next thing you know, it happened.
It happened. Dennis
and it's worse if it had happened that I was sleeping and then I woke up and I saw that negative, fine, it's okay. But this thing you can see it happening in real time and you can't do anything about it. So that was like one of the worst moves I've had in FPL for a while because you can see it happening play by play live and you can't do anything about it. You just captain and you see the red. It's like,
yeah. But I can remember leading up to that game. The African Cup.
He was doing well, yeah.
Yeah, African Cup was around the corner. He was supposed to go to
AFCON. Yeah, he was supposed to go to AFCON, yeah.
he didn't go
we removed him because he was supposed to go to AFCON and then he didn't go to AFCON and we were happy that he stayed. And then, so many things happening, man. Honestly.
That is one that is one bullet.
You took him out of your team?
I never got him all season.
Man.
He has never been in my team all season. I was with the King side, There was this debate too.
It was King against Dennis. Yeah.
So I was
King had all the stats and the eye test. It was good, but Dennis was getting all the points.
Exactly. Actually, that game I captained King myself because King also had the double, but he ended up with 3 points. And then there is
he didn't do well at all. Yeah,
but 3 times 2 is 6, and compared to Dennis -2 or something like that. Anybody who captained Dennis, so it was.
That was terrible.
Yeah,
that's terrible. The good thing was that at least it was not only me that captained him. A lot of people captained Dennis.
Yeah, it was huge. It was massive. Massive.
It became a norm anyway, so it didn't affect my rank or my game week points that much. Anyways. Another one this one I was looking at yesterday and I saw that I should learn to shake up a slump. Sometimes you have you go 2 or 3, 4 game weeks with the red arrows and it seems like you can't really do anything to stop that trend of red arrows that you have, because if you just lose hope and decide that what, I can't do anything about it, I'm making the moves but nothing seems to be working, I'm still getting the red arrows. That is what I need to I consider it a bad because it's something that I can do. You have to shake things up logically, not just take risk. Logically to see how you can change or alter that and get a green arrow. Mm-hmm. I think I saw from game week. I'm not really sure. Hold on a second. Let me just take this in real time. From game week 11. Game week 12 all the way to game week 14, there's 3 red arrows straight, which is if you look at my trend, it's been good this season. I've not had more than 3 red arrows. Most of the time it's 2 and then green, but this was like a slump. And I think that we need to look at it and see, especially me, because it's like when you have red arrows, it goes a long way. Your rank really drops low. But then when you have green, it's just significant small green and then small increments. It doesn't make any sense. So I think my bad was that I let the slump go on for too long. I could have done something different and maybe get a green arrow and get my hopes up sooner. So that's one. Plan to shake up things fast. Salah, good captaincy. I think I need to improve on that. 28% is not bad for the captaincy point. I think I need to up that because I said that Salah has 670 of my my points tally. Of my points tally was hold on a second. Let me just get this. I had about 65.18 points. 65.18. 2,477 points.
That's huge. Right?
And Salah was responsible for 28%. I mean, captaincy is supposed to be more than that, right? Or is it because the season has gone in a certain type of way that we expect more from our captaincy? But I feel like I could do more with my captaincy points.
You mean you have 28% from your captaincy points?
For my captaincy points, yeah.
That is huge, right?
It's huge? I thought it was small. For me, I think that's a bit small. Salah had just to put it short, of my 2,477 points, Salah had 670.
670 points.
Yeah.
That is one player. What do you mean, the captaincy or the player? Which one are you talking about? The 28%?
Let me see again. I think I need to confirm this live as we're doing this right now because I saw this on this and I was like, this is a bit small compared to overall.
Yeah, anyways, in terms of captain, if it is the captaincy, I did check that a couple of seasons ago. When I was comparing players, like how many percentage of your points is coming from your captaincy. Usually the rate is between 20 to 25. So even if you are where you want to fall is around 25. Where you want to fall, 24, 25, 20 is
to have a very good captaincy average.
Like, and then, because the game is not just about the captaincy, right? Because if, let's say, if your captaincy was to give you about 30 points of your points, it means you are not doing well in the other aspect of your game. Your other players are not doing well. Like, it's difficult to explain.
But it's like a balance.
It needs to balance, yeah.
It needs to balance, yeah. You need your captaincy to have more, but the other players need to also come up and like boost that average.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
That makes sense.
Actually, that was what inspired me to start looking at my team as a captain, non-captains, and then hits. That was what inspired me, and I see that as the 3 key points of trying to. If you do well in each of these 3, then you are doing well. So basically, for me, what I do at the end of the season, I want to know who was the best captaincy picker. Then I look at his team. What was he doing right? Who was the best non-captaincy player? And then I look at his team. What was he doing right? So if you do well in all these categories, and then it falls in a very good balanced way, if you do it, of course, you want to captain the highest scoring player in your team every single week. That is what everybody
every week, yeah.
That's what you want. But it's not possible that way. But if you can balance it,
at least you can get the max out of it, as much as possible. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I will definitely take this into next season, to be honest. Another one is I think we've got so carried on that you already do this all the time. You increased your overall team value, but for the first time in FPL for the past 2 or 3 seasons, people were not focused on team value anymore.
Yeah.
I think I realized that this season people were, because there were a lot of players. The strikers were not doing well, so there were a lot of midfield players or mids that were very cheap. They were doing well, like the Sakas and the Rafinhas and some other players like Bowen. They were doing well. So the top players, Son and them, did well. In the beginning, they were not doing well. So Son, who else you can consider mid? Mane. Salah was doing well. So KDB was not doing well initially until the second part of the season. So people's team value, they were not focused on team value. They were focused on just getting the players they were doing well at the time, which is you can say that it's a good move. But then for the first time, I didn't really consider team value. To be honest, I never even looked at it multiple times this season, like before. So when it came down to the most important thing, when all these top assets were doing well, and I wanted to get them in my team now, then my team value was nowhere. I remember I was telling you, okay, I wanted to play my free hit, and I couldn't really fit all these players in. Yeah. So I think next season, doesn't matter how difficult it is, try as much as possible. I will try as much as possible to improve my team value in the first half of the season. So whatever happens, even if I don't use it in the second half, at least I know it's there for when I need it to bring all these big players in. So that's one part of the season that I feel like I should have I should have done better, to be honest.
Yeah, I listened to
Um,
this guy Fabio. You know Fabio. I think everybody knows
Borges,
him.
the number one FPL player in the world, like in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah, the number one player in the
records.
world. Yeah. The best FPL manager in the world, to be honest.
Mhm.
His record is insane, to be honest. So he spoke about this team value stuff, and he is
Mhm.
one of those managers who really don't care about it.
Really?
Yeah, he's really, and that is where I am very different with him. Um, I Yeah, for him it's always about, if I cannot get him, I will go to the next one. But he's also very patient. He does not take a lot of hits. This is the season that he took the most hits. So yeah, that is surprising to me that he does not consider team value as important, crucial in the game. But for me, it's very important. Of course, I try to raise my value. I'm usually one of those who will have the highest team values. I think in the Kotu Classic Mini League I had the highest team value. When I check
Mhm.
like FPL tools, I was the at the top for team value rows. So but I did not use it in a smart way, and I will get to that when we get to my negative
To
points.
your
So
bad.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think yeah. So that's one aspect of this season that I didn't like. That is when I needed it, I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Last season I remember my team value was I think the highest it's been, and at the end I could bring in all the players I wanted to get in. Any player
Was
was
solid.
attainable for me. But this season I was like, I wanted this guy. I don't have a team value. I was short me 1 or 2 billion there. And I think most of the time the good players they might start off very slow, but then they have mostly good endings. So you want to build your team value so that any player that you want at any particular time during the ending of the season, you can be naming your team. You don't have to think about it. And I think I pointed this out. Is one of the bad is not the bad per se, but one of the things that I most recognize in FPL is focus on long-term planning and transfer strategies while also remaining flexible. Mm-hmm. This season, even more than the last season, which was when the pandemic happened, you need to be flexible. Yeah. You change your triple captaincy plan on the spot when the schedule was announced, and then you went for the wild card. If you were not a flexible manager, I don't think you could have done that. You could have just maybe stuck with what you had in mind to play because that was the safest. You had covered all your bases. This is the move that you wanted to make that move and keep it moving. And this season, I think I've been a bit flexible. I've never been taking -8 as if it's normal. Can you imagine? Because when I take a -8, I was like, man, this is too much of a point for me to just splash out there. But this is like people don't even think about it. People have been taking -16 or I had a guy in my mini league who took -32. I was like, oh, the guy didn't make a mistake or what? I remember before he made that move, he was on the same point tally as you. Uh-huh. And then all of a sudden, -32. I was like, wow, it's like that's like a wild card, So and he still finished like ahead of me. So you can imagine that. So I think the hardest skill which I need to build on is to focus on long-term planning, but also being flexible. At some point during the season, I was like, okay, I was planning long-term. I had my plans in my notes on my phone, but then most of the time I don't go according to those transfers. I don't know what happened. I just seem carried away sometimes. It's worked for me this season because of how the fixtures have been and the announcements and things. Yeah. But I think going into next season, I need to stick more to my strategy because there's a reason why I plan. It's because I saw something and I decided to plan, and then I'm supposed to use those moves and bring them into fruition in FPL. But I need to do better in that regard of my game.
Yeah, but it's
yeah. So let's go to your.
But it's good. But it's good. About the planning aspect. I think I mentioned that part, that one too. About I always have a plan. I don't necessarily always follow the plan, but the plan I always have. There's always a plan.
It's always good to plan. It's always good to have a plan. Definitely.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah. Even if you don't need it, you just have it.
Mm-hmm. And also another thing I need to realize is that if you, for some reason, if you have a free transfer, it's very tempting to use it. Yeah. But if you find out that you don't know what to do in a game week and you have a free transfer, don't do anything. I've done that a few times this season, and I was very happy with myself that I have a free transfer. I don't know who to bring in. Then I just let it go and just keep my regular team. Keep
bank transfer.
As possible. Bank transfer. Yeah, just don't do anything. It works wonders.
Yeah.
So let's go to your bad.
Yeah, for me, it's basically three things were the bad things in my season. It was a very good season for me. So not much to take out, like not a lot of negative to take. Of course, sometimes I do bench some players where I shouldn't have, but those things happens, right? Because not always you are gonna nail the actual 11 that is gonna score the highest number of points in your team. Sometimes you will leave points on your bench. That is normal in FPL. So for me, those things are not bad. But the three main bad things is the first one is the triple captain, boy. The triple captain. Especially in the
You need
season,
to.
especially in the season where like every single manager, almost every other manager that capitalized
Captain
on this
Salah.
huge Captain Salah
Yeah,
huge.
yeah.
You needed to get at least something, at least 10 points. That's what I was talking about. Even if I got 10 points, maybe it was just gonna be 18 points because when you guys triple captain Salah, I captain him, so it was just like you guys have extra what he got. Like if he scored 28, he scored 28 points. So I had 56. You had 56 plus
84, something like that. Yeah.
84, something like that. So there was just this gap of 28 points. So if I get a triple captain who gives me 10 points,
Yeah, you would have been at least the same. Yeah, you could have
at
caught
least
up.
18 points. Exactly. I would have got. But to have a triple captain who double and then it was Salah and then he blanked, it was very difficult for me to take. But I believe in the game, when it comes to we talk about luck and where you apply yourself, and when it comes to captain and triple captain, it is one decision. So the variance can happen anytime. You can remember in game week 9 when we captain Salah and he did the hat trick against Man United and many other managers triple captain what is it, Havertz, and he got the 3 points. So it was that how it feels. But yeah, that was just the bad thing. But I would not see that as a big negative. I could have done it again. Maybe if I had the opportunity, I would have triple captain Salah again. And the next one is the second free hit. That one too, it was a low scoring. It was just a disappointment, but not a bad thing because the free hit I played in game week 27. When I wildcarded in 26, that was the game week you triple captain Salah. So the following game week, it was a very low scoring game week, and Liverpool were not having a fixture, so I ended up with a very low scoring point. So the free hit did not work on that regard. But the biggest and the main bad of my season was the final quarter of the season. And the first 3 quarters of the season, 75% of the season, I played very well. And I think you highlighted why, because I stopped being aggressive. That was one reason. That was one reason. But the other reason was I also did not follow up my plan. Why did I wildcard? The main reason I wildcarded, and I give you all the reasons, I did not follow up on that. And the subsequent reason was I have to use my bench boost like within 3 game weeks, which was game week 28. So once you use the bench boost, you don't need 15 strong players in your team.
You just need to redivert the funds somewhere.
On your 11 players.
Yep.
And by focusing on my 11 players, it means I can get 3 premium players in my team at the same time. For example, Salah, Son, and KDB. Even when I went to the Fantasy Football Scout podcast with Joe, these are the 3 players I highlighted. These are the players I highlighted. It was about Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, these big teams, the big players, get as much as possible in my team and then move forward. But I never really do that. And I was doing a lot of sideways moves, bringing players like Iheanacho, moving to Wakehouse, moving to Wood, always doing a lot of sideways moves when I should have focused on the
big moves,
on the bigger picture, on the big moves, on those big players. And I never did that. So the second half, the final quarter of the season, those 2 things affected me. I stopped being aggressive and I did not follow up what I set out to do with my wildcard. And everything stepped down from the wildcard 26 because that was the only reason I did the wildcard instead of using the triple captain on Salah on that particular game week because I was looking ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the biggest one for me. And I learned a lot of lessons from it. I learned from you. I learned from the champion, the way he approached it at the end of the day. And I learned from the past seasons. This is not the first time it's happening to me, and this is not the first time.
It's happened before.
I've done it again, so it's somewhere I need to improve on.
I think you need to just put a note next, or an alarm or a reminder or something next season when you realize that maybe you put a note around that part of the season. You say, okay, be aggressive. That will just jolt your mind.
Yeah, and another funny thing, I used to tell you I used to have bad starts in FPL. That is why I was so obsessed to have the good start this season because previously my stats were bad. So in the end, I used to be a chaser. Like I'm trying to chase others to catch them. So
So
when I
you were
went
very
in, I
aggressive.
was very aggressive in the end. So I thought I was so good finishing the season, but in
So you don't
turn
need to
now
focus on that. So okay,
now
I
I
see
focus.
now.
I turn the focus on the start.
Yeah.
The start is
And then
aggressive,
you neglect the other side
and then
of the
I
season.
neglect
Yeah.
the other side. So
I
I
see.
think my game it has to be aggressive. That is how I do better in FPL. So I have to continue that aggression as the season progresses. But yeah, hopefully, yeah, the experiences will also help, and yeah, both of us hopefully.
Yeah. I think you've addressed it, so you know where your faults are. Even though this is an exceptional season for you, you still can improve. And you felt, I mean, for me to be honest, when you were doing so well in the 300 or 500, I thought maybe you could have won it, and I was telling you could win it because you were in that range where yourself and the top, the one that was leading at any point in time was less than what,
Yeah.
50 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always close to the less than
Yeah,
100,
so I mean, it
100.
was
Yeah.
always doable. So the fact that somebody that you were leading or ahead of wins
Yeah.
it, that should give you motivation for next season, man. Honestly,
Yeah. I you
it can be done.
we can all do it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still coming. I'm still making my small jumps and leaps and progress. I'm not there yet. No pressure, man. No pressure. Yeah. Moment of the season. For let's see. Yeah, I can't really remember a moment of the season. So for me, mostly my moment of the season is
Terrible captain.
playing a chip and doing well, because this is, I think it's the second chip that I played, which is I held it out all the way to 36 and I played it, and I had KDB. I didn't triple captain him, I captain him. I didn't captain him honestly, but I had it in my team and I got
That's
124
beautiful,
points.
right?
This is yeah. So it's good to play a chip and you get it right. Because usually we know it doesn't happen. Right? It is difficult. So for me, playing a free hit chip, even though it's a second one, and then getting huge points, it's kind of feel like I'm doing well. I nailed it this time around. Give yourself a pat on the back. So this was my moment of the season, but mostly my moment of the season was the Dennis one. This is one that I can remember vividly, which is one of the season, but it's a bad moment of the season, And then you have the workhorse, who's a big man team, and I was complaining all this time about, I couldn't do anything about it. So it's good to have some of these small wins. This is, I consider a moment of the season for me. What about you? What was your moment of the season?
Yeah, it don't have to be about the points, but like game week 3 or game week 4 when I was enter into the top 1,000.
Was into the top
Yeah,
5. I remember. I remember this.
Yeah, when we are talking like, oh, there is no K in my team, so it used to be 50K, 60K. So yeah,
They're
I think
used to
I
that.
really enjoyed
Yeah,
it because later in the season when I was getting into the top 1,000, it kind of become a little bit of like I did not care too much. I was gonna drop in the 100, like 900 or 600, 300, 400. It was very normal for me at that time. But yeah, that is what these kind of things does to you. Once you get there, you think you cannot go back. So once you go down, but yeah, the best feeling was the first time I get in there in the top 1,000. I cannot remember. I can't forget that period. That was
the feeling.
year before. That feeling that was beautiful, and that is my
Yeah.
FPL moment of the season. To be honest.
Nice. Any other thing? I think we'll talk about our clubs briefly, because if I should start talking about my club, I think we'll stay here for the next 2 hours. So I guess summarize it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Manchester United. Let's there's no need to band-aid. We were depressing. At some point, I feel like most fans, like, we have a very good week, and then the weekend, Manchester United is about to play, and then you just feel sad because we're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
It's terrible season, the worst like I've ever seen my team play, and I'm very happy that the season is over. Even the last game, I was watching the game, I was like, thank God, final game of the season. Woo, this one is no more heartbreaks for us, But the good thing, silver lining, we have a new manager. The manager has a very good track record, Ten Hag, and there's a lot of good things said about him, especially from Ajax. He's a very meticulous coach. Hopefully, because we have a lot of things going on in the team. Most of the players that we have, that I feel, that's my opinion, that I feel we have, don't value being a Manchester United player. They put themselves first before the team. You can't have that in the team. Hopefully he brings or changes the team in such a way that, the players will be happy to play or put in that effort to play for the team. clear all the dead wood, all the old players we have, the ones with contract issues, let them go. Please, we don't need you. Bring in players, young players that want to play for the team, a lot of energy. That's what we need, because the way he plays is not easy. He's that pressing type of manager, and we need that, because that's the new football now. You can't have defenders and midfielders pressing and you have all the players just relaxing and tracking back, jogging back. No, it's a team effort. It's a 11. So no expectations for next season. We just hope that we finish in a very respectable position, but we just want to see improvement in the way we play as fans, and effort. Yeah, the body language, all these things matter, because even if they beat me 5-0 as a team, I want to say that okay, it was a bad day. Yeah, it was a bad day for the team, but we played well. We gave it our best. You don't want to concede 5-0 and you see your players striking back as if they don't care. That's what you don't want as a fan. Windows, we need, the transfer window, we need a few players in. I don't know what the budget is. We have been there, now is the rumor mill. Like all these shows are, every 2 minutes or new news, they are, okay, this is the update. It's going to be here this season. But it's good because we feel like we need a refresh. We need a revamp. We need players leaving, and we also need a few players coming in key positions, midfield, full back positions, and then right wing. So it's been good. We need a few changes. We need new players in, new blood, new motivated players coming in to replace all these ones that should be the team. We thank them, but we all know who they are. The Manchester United players know. Thank them for doing what they need to do. We're very happy that they were in the team. But please leave. Thank you very much.
It's time to go.
Yeah, time to go. Yeah. Talk about Liverpool. That's it. I don't want to delve too much into it, but that's just summarizing my team right now.
Man United. Yeah, it was a disappointing for you guys. For us, it has been an unprecedented, exceptionally great season.
In contrast.
Especially considering the doubts we have about Liverpool at the start of the season. Generally, I think many outsiders had doubts about the team, doubts about the players, and things like that. Yeah, I was never in doubt. I think you can attest to that. And the season has gone very, very well. The league not so well, because we finished second in the league. But
well, don't beat yourself about the league.
No, of course. Consider,
it came down to the wire,
Yeah, especially because the second half of the season we had. I think when we came here to do our mid-season review, I was very downhearted about the league. I did not expect us to come back, because I was expecting Manchester City to be so difficult to catch, because
away. So because that's what happened in past seasons when they've won it. They were already, by mid-season, they already won the league.
Exactly. And you have to consider Liverpool have lost their best players during the African Cup of Nations, those periods here and there. Salah and Mane, Keita, But still, they competed in every single competition they played in, up to the last dot. The Premier League, they lost it.
Impressive.
The final 15 minutes. Won the FA Cup, won the League Cup, and now they are going to play the Champions League final tomorrow.
Champions League final, yeah.
Which is
huge.
I can't wait.
It's a team. I feel like Liverpool is the best team in the world right now. Man City, well, they're good, they play, but it's not only about how you play. It's about the confidence in the team, and when it's necessary, whether the team can really let's say step forward and give you the results. In that regard, I don't think Man City have the type of players. They have very good players. They have a very good coach. But when it comes to that, what Mourinho says, what did he call it? What did Mourinho say?
Football heritage.
Yeah. Football heritage. Liverpool, you have that. Yeah. Right now, I just feel like, as much as it pains me to say it, but you are the best team in the world. That's why, even though it goes against everything as a Manchester fan, I believe that you're going to win the final.
I hope so. But anyways, yeah.
It's a chance to get payback, because you guys played the final in a few years back, and then they won, right?
Yeah.
Even though it was using some dark arts from from Ramos during Salah, So this time around, I hope you guys could, and I hope it's a very entertaining final, anyways.
Yeah. And you remember I told you to, Liverpool team is like a cup team this season. It's more of a cup
team. I think you said it.
Yeah. Oh, even though they turn it in the league and become so consistent, which I never expected, the way they turn, because since we had that discussion, Liverpool only had 2 draws over that period in the league.
Mm-hmm.
2 draws because it was Manchester City and Tottenham. So the
Mm-hmm.
consistency they kind of brought in, it was a bit of a surprise. But like we say, if we have the midfield core we had it, Thiago stayed fit, Henderson stayed fit, Fabinho stayed fit. They played for a few games, and then that was it, and that was the transformation for. And Luis Diaz, of course, we cannot forget.
Man.
He's
the guy is he just came in right as if he has been playing in the league for like years and years and years, just fit right in, you know.
Absolutely.
I think one key thing that I think most people don't realize is that Thiago of last season, with the injuries and the inconsistency, this season he's been a very key player for you guys. Absolutely. You can now see the Thiago that we all know what he's capable of. You can see him now flourishing in that midfield of Liverpool, and he's going to be a very key player for you guys in the next few seasons.
Hopefully, yeah. But yeah, last year it was just the injuries. It was unprecedented.
I think so.
It was just,
but
it was difficult for people. Like if you are talking about it,
to understand, you
are making excuses. But you are talking about this caliber of players. These are top players, top professionals.
Key evidence. Mm-hmm. Manchester United finished second, and you said it was the injuries. Now we know why. Because where did we finish? We finished sixth. Terrible season. Every other team had their players back, and look at how badly we did. That means we're not the team. And as a fan, I believe that this is the perfect time to see what is wrong with the team. It wasn't the coaches; it was the players, and the attitude of the players. And we see it now. And I'm very happy that now the fans are aware. You can't fool anybody anymore. The players can't fool anybody anymore, and we know what we need to do. And we have a new coach. So let's just wait and see what happens.
When I had this discussion today about Man United with Mo, he raised one point, and I kind of agree with him, but I kind of disagree with him on the same point. What he said was Rangnick is the best thing that ever happened to Man United.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Because he pinpointed
the best and worst thing that ever happened.
Yeah. Okay,
continue. Finish your point.
What I told him, I agree. If Rangnick was gonna stay with the team, it is a bad thing. The way he was so exposed to everything that was going on. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he's going, he has already paved the way for the next manager who is coming to know
to pinpoint exactly what is wrong. Yeah, I feel like the players, when Rangnick came, even though they wanted Ole to stay because Ole was a very calm guy, even though he seems like a nice guy, he wouldn't call them out on what they were doing behind closed doors. But with Rangnick, he's there for a short time. He knows he's not going to get the job, even though he wanted it, but he realized at some point that he was not going to get it long term. Yeah. He has nothing to lose. So, he had nothing to lose. So he called it like he saw it. And I think that's what Man U fans really appreciate about him, because he could have just kept things, nicely, tied down in the bow. Oh, everything is okay. And then the next manager will come and suffer the same fate. If we don't know what the problem is, how do we solve the problem? If we don't address the problem. Now we know what the problem is. There are some key players that shouldn't be in the team. That they have egos and they shouldn't be in the team and they should leave, because it's about the team. We need to be respectful of the bad. If you don't want to be in a team, you leave. Simple. So some players are not performing well, they bench you complain. What is it's not,
And you know what? As a Liverpool fan, like I of course I enjoy seeing Manchester United not doing well, but I kind of want to see Man United doing well better than like Manchester City. I want to compete. I want to beat Manchester United. Like I want to compete with Manchester United, because it's not really fun competing with this Man
City. Yeah, they don't have anything.
It's not really fun at all. Compete against them. They have no class. This team has.
Which Man City fans do you know? Which Man City fans do you know to argue with?
That's why I can tell them anything I want. So I tell them they have no class. That team.
Nobody
is gonna come and attack me.
Of course. Yeah. Anyway, man, it was a nice review, and I think it was a good season. Like, even though as a football fan, it's not the best. You see all your rivals doing well, and you're struggling. But we hope that this is a change to a new era. And one thing I want is that for the board to fully back this manager. Because the fans will back him if they see that this is the right manager for us. Let's just back him, give the manager the power to hire and fire at will, like what we did Sir Alex. If he doesn't like you in the team, you feel like you're a distraction to the team, you are out. Yeah. You just want the same thing for this guy. That's the only way we're going to have change and have a new team.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, it was a good FPL season, man. The best, exceptional for I think for the Kotu Classic, anyways, for everybody
Yeah. We
because
won.
we
We won.
did
We
well.
have a big, especially this year. We have a lot of impact
Yeah,
in the
in the Gambian FPL. So
yeah.
we hope for more, anyways, in next seasons to come.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Did we forget to mention anything? I think we covered all our bases this
what's your
season.
prediction for the game? What did you say was your prediction? Real Madrid, Liverpool. What are
Liverpool
you?
is going to win, man. I think it's
You
going
think
to be
so?
close. But there's one advice I need to add to give to you guys is that you see the way Liverpool won. I mean, Real Madrid won all their past few games, right? They were losing, and then out of nowhere they started winning games. It's the same tactic they've been using. Bring two players and change the
Change
dynamics of the
everything,
team.
right?
Yeah, so if you, it's gonna be rinse, wash, repeat. So if you guys address that, bring in their two Rodrigo and whoever they bring, the Kamavinga and you know some fresh legs in the last few seconds. That's when everything changes.
Yeah.
If
For me,
Klopp is wise enough, I'm
yeah.
sure he would have addressed that a long time ago. So you guys just need to be aware. That's all.
Yeah, for me the key is of course Liverpool will gonna bombard them with pressure, with like attack them from the start. The key for me is the midfielders. They are old. That is Cruz and Modric. They are very good. It's very much 36 years old, and then he's still doing what he's doing.
Still bossing it, yeah.
Yeah. So
Legend.
those two, if you stop that service, that is gonna go to Benzema and Vinicius Junior. Because Real Madrid's football is so centric on the left side. Every attack
it is. Just close it down and then
the red there is nothing gonna happen there. Valverde is playing there. He's not gonna run behind Robertson. He's not gonna run to Van Dijk. So all he's gonna do is gonna cover in the middle. So everything they have is gonna be on the left. And we know Liverpool too. We also attack from that right side. Trent will go up and then leave space behind. And that is when they start criticizing him. Trent is a bad defender because he leaves the space. But that is the tactic of Liverpool. That is actually what Liverpool want to play with. So that space, how to defend it, it's not Trent's responsibility. It's the team's responsibility. How we defend it is very important for Vinicius Junior and Benzema. If we defend it well, I think we would there. But at the end of the day, it's all about Modric and Cruz. If they are not giving him service, he's not gonna get the ball. So if we stop him, if we press those two, making sure that they are pinned back, they cannot make their passes, they cannot pick their spots, then I think we have a good chance. And also we can also capitalize on the height of the Real Madrid team. They are very short. The whole team they don't have any tall player.
No tall players.
Casemiro is the tallest player in that team. See, their two center backs are like me. Alaba is a left back. He's not a center back.
He's not a center back, no.
Militao is not the biggest center back. So you have Van Dijk, Matip, and Ibu Konate, these huge guys. You have
just float in the balls. Yeah,
set pieces is very important in this game, I think. I don't think other teams use it very well, but it's something that you need to exploit in this Real Madrid team. But like you say, yeah, they are a football heritage team. They can come back.
Yeah.
But again,
I feel like the comeback. Other teams that they've played so far respect them so much that they give them the comeback. They just score. I feel like they are ahead and just rest. And then once they score one, they just feel like, yeah, we can do it. You know,
those teams don't have heritage. That is the thing.
Too easy.
All those teams they don't have heritage. They don't know. They don't understand.
Chelsea,
PSG, Man City. They all don't have heritage. Yeah, it's different. True. We have that. I think we have that, and I think when we get into that position where we are in control, it will be difficult to fight. We will not throw it. I cannot remember. We used to do it, but it's not in these important games that we throw away finals or something like that. I don't see us doing that. Those are for Chelsea's and the Manchester City's and the PSG's to do, right?
Yeah.
They are the ones who give away those ones.
Honestly, it will be a very interesting game to watch as a neutral. Yeah. But I'm rooting for Liverpool to win it because obviously, Real Madrid has won it so many times. It's annoying now. 14 times when they were playing 4 clubs. I always keep saying this. Really, they like Real Madrid fans attack me. When there were four clubs playing, you won it like 5 times, and then ahead of everybody else. This is nonsense. Now, the only time that I would credit them for winning is winning it 3 times, and even then you can question because very questionable refereeing decisions made them win it 3 times. Well, anyways, give them credit where credit is due.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully you don't win it again this time around. It's very annoying. Please. So Liverpool to win the Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it has been a long one. It has been very
Yeah,
interesting. You know, we have
it
delved
has.
into
Yeah, it has.
our
It's been a while. Yeah,
and
yeah. So
it's not very statistics. You know, talking about stats crazy stuff.
oriented. Yeah, yeah.
It's more of a chat. I like this time. How about you?
Of course, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. If only we can just break it up into smaller pieces and give it to people to to digest.
To digest, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I would do that. Yeah,
All right. Yeah. Come to the end of this spot review. So I think at least it's going to be a while. I'm sure we'll have more content on the YouTube page, right?
yeah,
So
definitely, definitely.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we're gonna have
the
some few summer
listeners
stuff.
should watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
to
watch out for
watch
the
out for.
classic, like Jello Football
Yeah,
Barnaba YouTube channel. Yeah, if you are new around, guys, don't forget to
definitely.
hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, we will be around in the summer, doing other stuffs about football. So yeah, watch out, Bruce.
Definitely. All right. Thanks, listeners. It's been a pleasure, man. Honestly,
Great to
I
have
miss
you
coming
again.
on the pod. Yeah, I really miss coming on the pod and airing out my frustrations about my club.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. I
Apologies
like
to
it.
any Real Madrid fan there who's whatever. It's my opinion. But anyways, yeah. All right, man.
All
um,
right, man. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys. Thanks for listening as well. Thanks for watching. So catch you guys on the next one soon.